Hello, everybody, and welcome to another go-to training. I'm your instructor, Mike Walsh, and tonight we're starting a whole new month with some of you folks. So this would be week one of your go-to trainings for digital film lighting 2. So the format's typically brief lecture, maybe a video presentation, sometimes a product demo, video links to additional discussion or tutorials. And when we get a live component, we do a Q&A. This week I'm worried that maybe the registration links didn't get up in time for a live Q&A, but nevertheless I can go over some of the topics from the go-to session in the event that you get to watch later. So, and remember, there's always an archive link in the go-to portion of the training sessions where you can access the previously recorded videos. For instance, anything that I've gone over for the last class last month or in previous months, just go to the overview, go down to pre-recorded go-to sessions, and see this week already I have a video link posted here, and I will put the link to this video here as well, which will this link will get you to the same place. This is my YouTube page here, my channel, and on it are many delightful videos pertaining to the topics that we cover in class. So you can check out any of these. The topics are typically listed in the title, and you can check out what conversations have gone before. So yeah, that's cool. So having said that, this evening I want to, since this is a Lighting 2 class, I wanted to talk briefly about your week 1 concepts, which are use of color as a compositional tool or a lighting tool. And alternately, there is a discussion about comedy in the read and view component of your week 1 materials, talking about the broadness of comedy lighting as opposed to the sort of modeled and texture prominent lighting of dramatic lighting or action lighting. We also cover horror and sci-fi lighting in week 2. Comedy lighting in week 1 is a discussion on broad light sources and broad lighting schemes that can accommodate ad-lib performances on the part of your talent or your actors. Or also, oftentimes comedy involves the framing of multiple characters at the same time. And when you do that, of course, you have to allow room for a handful of individuals now to be spontaneously performing or just being demonstrative, and they need a lot of room to get their point across. And so with comedy lighting, we it's not that we're restricted. We are now prevented from getting too intimate and getting too moody and linear in our lighting, because if the actors deviate in one way or another from that plan, everything's going to start going awry and the lighting is not going to perform. So in comedy, we have to allow a wider, brighter range of movement for all of these folks to, to give us the performance that they had in store, and to make sure we don't lose them in the frame. when they're going about their business. So comedy lighting is, and don't confuse wide and bright for simple and easy to achieve, because if you have a limited number of instruments, for instance, wide and bright lighting can be a challenge. It almost always involves the rental, purchase, or some form of acquisition of additional equipment in order for you to get all of the coverage that you need in your lighting plan. So, and as far as simplicity's sake, I don't think that simplicity would be a good way to categorize comedy lighting, because it has to account for a lot of things that may or may not happen. Now, unlike in dramatic lighting, where we know for the most part what's going to happen, we know that right here an actress is going to deliver a line and she's going to walk over to here and turn and face the individual that she's talking to, and that individual is going to come in and stand on the previous mark. So we have a point of key for that individual and a point of key for this individual, and this individual transition from this point of key to this point of key, and all of that is sort of prescribed for us, and we can plan for that. We can anticipate that. So we can put a nice source here that maybe only works in this position, and a nice source here that only works in this position, and we can cover both spots. And we can even, sequester one from the other so that they each have their own modeling characteristics, or they can share the same modeling characteristics from say a large source off to one side or the other, where it accommodates both positions. We have a lot of ways of handling that situation. But when you've got somebody that starts here and you don't know where from there they're going to go, we have to provide for here and behind and in front of and anywhere that person is liable to go within their entire realm of performance, which might be an entire set. So comedy lighting is deceptively difficult, and keep that in mind. Don't discount the idea that this is the easiest form of lighting to do, because it's not necessarily the case. I also want to stress that, again, folks, since this is a lighting class, let's use our tools. I know it's easy to turn on all the lights in the house and call it comedy lighting, but let's avoid that. Let's show one another in our video clips and in your project assignments to me. Let's see what you can do with your tools, because that's the basis of your professional education here, is what you can do with your tools. If you need to supplement with practicals from your environment, like lamps on tables or chandeliers in the ceiling, if you're supplementing with your existing lighting, we do what we have to do, right? For lack of more tools. But for the most part, let's try to see what we can accomplish with our lighting kits. Having said that, I thought I would show you. I'm always looking for new effective tools, inexpensive tools, things that I think would be useful to filmmakers, particularly young filmmakers, let's face it, with limited budgets. And when I find stuff like that, I like to bring it to your attention. So tonight I have a